And welcome back to Atreyu News. Look which controversial conservative just started their own media company. I was wondering what happened to this guy, Milo Yiannopoulos. I hadn't really seen or heard anything from him for a while, and I suppose now we know. I remember he hashtagged the phrase "queers for Trump." Milo Yiannopoulos has started his own media company with the money from investors. WashingtonExaminer.com reports controversial former Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos announced Friday that he has formed a new media company. A Facebook post on Yiannopoulos' official page says he received $12 million from undisclosed investors for Milo. See, and there is the proof. There is the irrefutable proof that people care about America. They want to see her succeed, and we don't want to see it destroyed. $12 million for this man? There is some real power players out there that are on our side. Which will manage his books, tours, merchandise, and radio and TV opportunities. The company has already hired a seasoned media executive to lead a 30-person team based in Miami. 30-person, wow. That's impressive for a team just starting out. In Miami, Florida. The identity of this person was not revealed. This isn't some vanity nameplate on a personal blog. Yiannopoulos is quoted as saying, "This is a fully tooled up talent factory and management company dedicated to the destruction and of political correctness and the progressive left." And what guy better to do it than their own weapon, a homosexual, is about to bring their zeitgeist to its knees. I look forward to it. Civil rights leader just gave President Trump an A+. Look who it is. Martin Luther King's niece, Dr. Alveda King, gives high marks for President Trump's first 100 days in office. King believes the president has improved race relations and has established an amazing pro-life stance by appointing Justice Gorsuch and defunding Planned Parenthood. She ranks Trump's performance as an A. "We cannot possibly agree more. President Trump gets an A+, and when compared to disgrace Obama, an A++++. See the difference between Martin Luther King's vision of unity, and then you have Al, the race card Sharpton, who would try and say that he represents Martin Luther King, yet he proposes division and black supremacy and anti-white and a leftist communist ideology. And he says he represents the king. No, I don't think so. This woman does, his niece. Represents the true vision that Trump also shares. Let's take a listen.
President Trump touting his Supreme Court success before a crowd at the NRA convention last night. Our next guest says the nomination of Justice Neil Gorsuch was a huge victory for the pro-life movement.
That's right. Joining us now, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King and Fox News contributor Dr. Alveda King. Doctor, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So you call these first 100 days the most pro-life we've ever seen. Why?
Well, actually, I was talking to Father Frank Pavone at Priest for Life, and we even did an op-ed to just point out that not only has President Trump kept his promise, there are many of those initiatives that he promised. We have the Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. We have the Mexico City policy that says we don't use our hard-earned tax dollars to send out of the country to abortion providers. We won't do that. And the list actually goes on, and we're very delighted. President Trump said to Planned Parenthood, "I won't defund you if you stop doing abortions." And, of course, they said they're going to keep doing abortions. So he has been very faithful with that. Even if you stretch it out to the STEM programs for women, the science programs, the opportunities for more women to enter into science and medicine and all of that. And we believe that the more people who are in medicine who admit that the baby is a human being in the womb, that's going to be pretty good, too. So he has kept his promise, and I'm very pleased with that. I really am.
Let's talk about race relations, something near and dear to your heart and your family's history, of course. How would you grade this president who said he was going to reach out and make huge strides on race relations in this country in this first 100 days? Can you give him a grade?
President Trump gets an A from me. I was at the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. with him. We had meaningful conversations. Omarosa was right there with us, and we were talking about the plight of African Americans in this nation. Dr. Ben Carson, Congressman Tim Scott, we were all there with him, and I was very pleased with that. The historical black colleges and universities are really on the radar of the president. He knows that we have to have good education and good opportunities to compete. So he's doing that with not just the African Americans and women, but really for all Americans.
And we've been talking about that at the commercial break. When you think about the last few years of President Obama's presidency and the riots that were breaking out across this country between the cops, the police officers, and the black community, what do you think has changed between then and now? Because it does seem like things have calmed down a bit.
The prayers of those who are praying for the president, we were praying for each of those 100 days. I believe that prayer is very key, and to strengthen the president to go ahead and move with those initiatives, praying for him in his seat of authority and others, that we can have peaceful lives. So prayer coupled with sanity, yes.
A wonderful message. Dr. Elvita King, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Awesome. Powerful woman, strong leader. I would say a role model, even though there is very few of them, for black Americans, but I would say that she is one of them. Sharp, real sharp. Breaking: trouble at Trump's 100 Days rally. Confirmed Democratic Party sending protesters to Trump 100-day rally in Penn. Well, with Trump's new law and order policy, perhaps some of these protesters will put masks on and destroy property and go to prison, like their friends. Washington Times reported there are two momentous political events to consider this weekend, and they are polar opposites. Yeah, darkness versus the light. First, we have President Trump, who will step out on the broad stage of a major arena in Pennsylvania Saturday night for one of his favorite activities, a massive grassroots rally to affirm his first 100 days in office and to connect with the voters that love him. From what I understand, the rally will take place at 7:30 p.m. tonight, in case anyone wanted to watch it. The event is not without issue. An anti-Trump protest and rally is planned by the Pennsylvania Democratic Party and activists from around the state who claim the president's time in office has been filled with alternative facts, incompetence, and international scandal. You notice how it's always a play on word, alternative facts. Yeah, it is alternative fact because it's the opposite of theirs. They live in a fairy tale land where you can have open borders, mass third world immigration, and everything will be fine. But it's just not that way. They don't live in reality. I suppose most of them don't have a job, so without having a job and without going through the daily grind that the rest of us do, they can't ever have a grip on reality. I have family members who I'm not going to mention, but they've never worked a day in their life. And when you talk to them, you could tell they don't actually understand the world whatsoever. I believe that's what these people are suffering from. Call it stupidity, call it ignorance, but that's exactly what it is. They know not what they do, which is unfortunate because it will bring about their own destruction. They don't even realize their party's imploding from the inside out. Then there is the White House Correspondents' Dinner in the nation's capital, staged in a posh hotel some 96 miles to the south. Just as Mr. Trump arrives on stage in Harrisburg, several thousand formally clad journalists, lobbyists, and celebrities will stroll out of a dozen different cocktail parties and begin the promenade toward the glittering ballroom, where they will dine on a sumptuous meal and giggle over inside jokes. Many will celebrate the fact that Mr. Trump is not among them. He opted out of the event weeks ago, winning accolades from a number of conservative pundits who applauded his decision to skip a long evening with the mostly hostile press. Good. Hang out with us, Trump. You're one of us now. You are our rock. Let them sob and lie to each other while their party implodes. Good. That's fine with me.